What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today I wanted to talk about 1 month. I think it's been over a month since I have not been an iPhone user, and this has been a really interesting experience, so I'm going to jump right into it. So guys, it has been over a month since I've not had an iPhone, and there's a lot of really good things that I've enjoyed while having a Samsung device, but at the same time there are some things that I definitely do miss from having an iPhone, so I'm going to talk about that in this video. So first of all, what I really miss from iPhone, and I just want to jump to kind of the things that I miss, is I will say iMessage and FaceTime. Those things worked really just fluidly, if that's even a word, seamlessly. It was just really nice. Like, you were able to FaceTime any one of your contacts that had an iPhone, which was primarily every single one of them. iMessage just worked really well. Kind of everything that comes with iMessage. So like adding photos in your message, or adding all these different emojis, and just the fluidity of the entire messaging system worked really well. And FaceTime, it just felt like was super easy to use. Always worked for me whenever I had it, so that was something I really missed. Another thing that I think Apple does really well is their integration into their social media platform. So using a app like Instagram is very different on iPhone compared to using something like Samsung, so, or like Android. So when you use Instagram on iPhone, everything works. The video uploading works. The just if you're looking at any images, it works. When you're uploading images, everything works. There's never any issues. When you're on Android, typically whenever you upload photos, you're viewing content, it doesn't look as good as what it typically does on Apple. And I feel like you'd only know the difference if you had an Apple device and you have a Android device, and you see the differences compared to both of them. So that's definitely one of the biggest things. I would also say that YouTube is another big difference, specifically if you're a content creator who's trying to make YouTube shorts. For some odd reason, a lot of the features that come with iPhone when you're trying to create YouTube shorts do not transfer over to Android. This happened many times, especially video quality, when you're trying to upload a YouTube video that's recorded on your iPhone, and then you try to upload it to YouTube, and then when you do Android recording on your Android to YouTube, you're going to have a bunch of issues with the Android device. Quality just doesn't look good at all, and you're not able to edit the same way that you are with Apple. So I don't know if that's something that just maybe YouTube is like, we're only going to do this for Apple, we're not going to do this for Android. I don't think that's the case, but I definitely have noticed that there's a big difference between those two platforms when you're using that, and that's something why I prefer to use the iPhone over Android. So I'd probably say the last thing that I miss when it comes to that is just integration with all other devices. So like things like Apple Watch, the iPad, AirPods. I mean, all of those devices are specifically meant to enhance your experience when you're using your iPhone, or just, again, to be a part of that Apple ecosystem. Using all of these different products, you're using the Apple Watch, which then you're able to get the notifications from your iPhone, or when you're using your AirPods, that Bluetooth, making the calls. Like, everything just works very seamlessly, and I understand that's because of Apple, but again, you're missing out on a lot of those really top tier products. Like, I would 100% argue with someone that the Apple Watch, the AirPods, are way better than anything else in the market currently in their like kind of category. Tablets, I would honestly say iPad, again, I think is better than the tablets that are done by Samsung. But now jumping into what I don't miss and what I really enjoy with Android, because there's actually a lot of them. So first of all is just the amount of features that are available on the phone without you even adding any other external applications. So you're able to customize so many things on your Android device. There is just like unlimited amount of customization. So you can customize your entire home screen, in such a easier way. Your backgrounds, having video backgrounds, just like it would take me so long to go over every single setting, and I'm constantly learning, and I really like that Android, it's like there's so much that you can learn about the device and its capability and what it allows you to do, and I love that. I feel like I have way more control over my device, over my features, and that is something that I really like as a consumer. Is when you buy a product, you don't feel like you're being limited to like the capability of what the phone can actually do. Secondly, I have a Z Fold 5, and because this is kind of more of a Samsung thing, but like the fact that it's a different form factor, it's not the same typical thing that we're used to with the iPhone, where it's like every year the model is the same. There's always like a very, very minor difference between the previous model and then the model that we have currently right now. So I'm just super happy to have that, because why wouldn't we want more customization? Why wouldn't we want more innovative things, right? That isn't that kind of the goal? It's like you want to have better products, you want to have different products, things that are going to change the industry, make it better for the consumer. That's kind of my thought, but I don't think that's always really the case when it comes to Apple's vision. I know maybe they think about that way later in the future, but like currently Samsung, I just think Android devices are way ahead of Apple in terms of some of their technology that they have and innovativeness. Number three for sure, which this is something that at first I didn't really think I was like super big on, but there's a lot of external applications that you can not only use to make your experience better on Android, like just in general, but like in terms of safety, there's a lot of really high quality VPN safety protector applications that were not available on the iPhone, but they're available on my device for Android. And I really like that. I know people all the time are like, Androids aren't as secure as Apple. Like, that's not true. That may have been true for a previous generation or two, but that's not the case anymore. And I think a lot of people limit themselves and they don't even try Samsung devices because of these old rumors that originally had come out and said that, these devices are not safe. I'm constantly using VPNs. I have extra protection as well, so it just works really, really well. Don't feel like any of my information is being used in a malicious way, anything like that. So that's something that is really big. Next point that I want to make is when it comes to downloading files, there is no better version to download files when you're comparing Android to iPhone or Apple. When you download a file using an Android device, you're actually going to download the legitimate file. You're going to have a files folder, which you can then actually open up all different types of files. And if you can't, you can download an app that will allow you to open any type of file type and view it as it's originally intended. When you're using an Apple device, files do not open the same way that they do with an Android. It's a very clear difference, and it's just way easier. You feel like you're using a legit computer the way that you're able to view files, and that's a big thing. Maybe not for everybody, but like, what if you're at work and someone sends you a file and they need you to upload it, or a Word document that you need to look at right away? It's like the filing system with Android works way more seamlessly than it does with Apple, and that's been a big thing for me, and I've really enjoyed that while I've had this Android device, which has just been incredible. The next thing is when it comes to just external devices, adding external devices into my Android device, it works so easily. If I have an external microphone that I want to add to my device, I can use that. If I have a external Bluetooth mouse, I can use that. If I have anything that is like USB related or even Bluetooth related, it works so much easier on the Android compared to iPhone, where I constantly had issues. Sometimes Apple won't even let you use a certain product because they don't value it. They don't see it as like a safe device. Therefore, you cannot use it on their platform. And that's pretty frustrating. So I love that I'm able to do that. If I want to record on my Z Fold 5, attach a microphone, attach all these other external mics, I can do that without any issues whatsoever. It's way easier to do, and I just really prefer that. I feel like not a lot of people value that, and that's a big thing. I'm literally using a mouse while I'm using my Android device, and it's like so interesting, and it's such a different experience compared to always having the same thing on the iPhone. Another point which I think you only really experience when you use an Android long enough is, I think, just the all right, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say um yeah. So one really big thing that I only really saw once I started using my device way more was the whole control center. So when you have an Android device, there's so many different things that you can add to your control center that are not limited compared to what Apple typically has. So you're able to have like there's just so many things that you can add to your control center. So when you swipe down, you're able to see like you typically on iPhone you would have the whole like flashlight, you would have the airplane mode, you would have the save battery. It's like no, with Android there's just so many more things that you can add into there. And if you don't have an Android, you don't understand. But if you do, you feel me. I know you do. It's just incredible, and I really like it. So, guys, to wrap up this video, at the end of the day, I'm not one of those people that's like, iPhone is bad. I hate iPhone. And I'm not one of those people that's always going to be like, Android is way better of a device than iPhone. What my opinion is that there are two different types of devices. There's the Apple device, and then there's Android devices. And depending on what your kind of needs are, depending on the type of consumer that you need to value what are kind of the things that you want in a device and what are the things that you don't. So at the end of the day, my opinion is that I personally think that Android devices are way more innovative. There's a lot more creativity. There's a lot more features that you're able to do with your device. And therefore, for me as a consumer, that is what I prefer. But if you're a Apple consumer and you prefer to have an ecosystem, you love having the messaging, you love having the FaceTime, you love just having all these other devices integrate into the same device, then I would say iPhone. So again, at the end of the day, find out what is better for you. And thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Bye.